What's going on, YouTubers, gamers and fellow hobbyists? Welcome to Memory Lane Part 4. Now in this episode we are going to be going the route I used to walk to my secondary school, because the last video took us through to the primary school, or the old primary school. There'll be a link up above for that one, Part 3, but this is Part 4, so we're starting this side of the subway again and coming through to the other side and then looking back behind us and then across to our right, which is the general direction of where we're going. Now this is through and up to the last point in the last video where we had a choice to make, and left took us towards the direction of my primary school. But if we're going to my secondary school, now back in the day I had two choices. I could either turn right, which I will show you in a moment, or we could go straight ahead. Now you can see straight ahead there is a fence, and there is a fence all the way around the school. Back when I was attending this school there was no fence, it was just a kind of natural hedgerow and trees, and right across there where the bus stop is, pretty much, there was a gap in the hedge, and you could sometimes sneak into school that way. Because it was quicker than going all the way around, and you can just get to your classroom and get there for registration and thus avoid being late. Okay, so this is the direction we are going to start walking in. Now bear in mind I did often used to go straight across, but probably just as often I used to walk a long way around. Depends if my friends were with me or not, and what way we all generally agreed to go on, and how lucky we were feeling as to avoid being seen sneaking across the school field. Okay, so off we go on our little jaunt. Yes, so I would have gone straight ahead sometimes, but we would often walk around here. But bear in mind that fence was not there, but the hedgerow was. Probably not quite so high as it is now. I get around the corner here and there's two people talking with a dog, and I didn't want to walk through them, so I took the opportunity to go over the road there, and I took a picture of where we were, and then I move over to where the bus stop is, more or less. That is the way to a friend's house. That's a part for another video. That's the direction we are going. So we'll be walking straight ahead there, all along the side of that fence. So, but those trees I don't remember being there. If they were very, very small. Perhaps they'd only just been planted, who knows. So onwards now, just walking along this side. I don't actually remember there being a bus stop here. Perhaps that's new, perhaps it isn't, I don't know. It's a long time, we're talking 20 odd years, don't forget. But I do seem to remember you could just about see the school field from here. It's a massive field, and they've turned part of it into like a proper, I don't know, sports area for the school as well. They've really expanded the school now. So just to look at part of the field, it really was a massive field. You could fit about, 2 football pitches in there, 2 full-size football pitches in there, I'd say. Maybe 3 lengthways. Coming up to a part here. This wasn't here before, but that there is another way to another part of town where my friend used to live. So that there, you could see just ahead the field directly in front, and then there's another fence beyond, and that's the fence encompassing the sports area they've built. I don't know what they've built there, whether it's like football pitches or what on top of the field, but to the right of there, that's going further up to the right, would have been where we sat on the school field on a summer's day lunchtime, arguing over who had the best computer, or we argued about certain things. Well, intellectual conversations, I think they were. That's part of the nostalgia, isn't it? So another shot from the opposite side of the road. Now we're walking up the last part of it, And further ahead, you can see that the fence actually ends. Now, this, I believe, is where we used to cut across the field. Now, it used to be a bit of a wasteland, but wasteland high grass type of thing. And there was a well-used trodden path, mud path, that cut the corner off at the end. But I started a new path which cut it off even further, a more direct route to the school. So that's what we're coming up on now. But they've built some houses here now, as you can see. So this here now, where they've expanded the school, this here turns into, I believe, another part of the school. They've got more buildings there now, but it was just a wasteland before. With all this little housing estate here, this is all brand new. Brand new houses, quite tiny. What I would imagine they would term affordable housing. That's what I believe the terminology is with local councils and that these days. There's no front garden, so to speak. I can't say about back gardens because I don't know. There's certainly a room to have a little bit of a back garden there if you wanted, I suppose, from what I can remember. So we're coming up to the end of this road. I'm approaching Miller Way. Traffic control ahead. So there must be roadworks or something up ahead. But this, going here now would have been the long way around if I went to the end of the road and then down. So the object of cutting across there was to avoid this bit here. No house on the corner, right on the corner here, so I'm guessing there was no planning permission for that. But yeah, this is the end, and if you look down, that would have been the route to go to the school. So I'm just going to go across to the other side of the road there, something I wouldn't have done, just so I can get a better picture, that's all. So down there at the very bottom, if you go right to the bottom of the hill and then left, is the school I used to go to. You can just see it there, just about. Right, so now I'm on the way back through that same subway. So this is on the way home now, as would have been. And it's odd because it was like crossing an invisible border almost. And once I was on the other side of this subway, I always felt a lot safer, as it were. I felt like I was more in my own territory. Not that it was unsafe, but do you know what I mean? You would only see like more people that you would regularly see every day and no more. So along this path, very familiar territory now. And up to the meeting point that we did coming back, and here we are, the famous conker tree, or not conker tree, or I don't know what it is actually. I don't know what tree it is. It might be a conker tree. I'm sure it is. But yeah, now you can't go over the ramp there because they've put those stones around it, but that's okay. But as I say, this was the meeting place on the way to school, both primary and secondary. And on the way home, when I got to this point, I had a kind of choice. Now I could either go right, which would take me back directly to, on the way to my house, or left if my friends were with me. Sometimes I would continue walking with them because I enjoyed their company, and we were probably often in deep conversation about something or other. So this was where the last of the video sections is going to take us. The way I would go home, sometimes. Right, so off we go. Usually if it was my friend Christopher Hatton, I would go this way if he was there. Like I say, sometimes. Now he was I liked him. He was a bit of a know-it-all. Like to have, if you had something, you like to have something the same thing but better, and do it bigger, better. He was smarter and all this kind of stuff. And I think he annoyed a lot of people, but I really liked him, and I feel gutted to think that he's no longer with us, but I don't think he'd mind me saying that, now that we're grown up. Although he's not here to defend himself anymore, so that's just my opinion. Anyway, we would come along here and we would go down these steps, which, well, right by this, what I call the unneeded subway. That subway is pointless. So those steps there, I do not know, and I never did know, and I still don't for the life of me know why they needed a subway on a road as quiet as this. Even today it's a quiet road. You don't get much traffic along there. You could have just crossed the road. There really isn't that much traffic. Anyway, we'd walk along here, my friend and I, talking and chatting away. Could have been about something that happened at school, could have been about computer games, could have been about meeting up that night, because he lived to the left, as I will do in a further video when it gets closer to summer, and I will do my summer series of Memory Lane. Now here I would think about going left, but I would not go up that one, but I'd go along here a little bit to the next little pathway segment, and that's probably where, as far as I can remember, with the tree on the left, where we would say our goodbyes, and either I'll see you tonight or I'll see you tomorrow, that kind of thing. Yeah, that tree there. I'd say, right, I'll see you later, and then I'd head off. Now I'm walking around back to where I parked, but you'll recognise this from the part 3 video. Not this bus stop coming up, or this lamppost coming up. Oh, on a side note, Colwell Road, because that's going to be quite important for the next video. Colwell Road, yeah, brings back memories. Over there, my nan nearly bought a flat there. Yeah, she nearly did. She was going to move to Plymouth, but she never did. Now, if I was walking home, I would be on the other side of the road by now, that side there. But for the purposes of this video, I'm going to stay on this side of the road here. I'm just zooming into these flats that my nan was possibly going to buy and live in Plymouth. But anyway, yep. So I'm just going back up now. It's the right direction. Just follow the road around. This is Weir Road now. That bus stop over there, that's where I started a previous. That's where I started part 3, from that bus stop. So it's just like a round trip really. I've come, and yeah, back to Chelston Gardens. So this is pretty much the end now. Up ahead there, behind that white van, that's my car. So what I'd basically do is I'd make my way back there, and that's the final photo looking back on the route I would have gone home. So thank you very much for watching this episode of Memory Lane. I needed to get that one done to go the route for my secondary school, and now that lays the path for me to do my summer series, like where I used to go of most evenings, where my friends lived, where my friends and I hung out, places we used to go, and it'll just be interesting to see what those places look like now, and I'll give you a little bit of a history about my life as a young lad living in Plymouth. So like I say, thanks so much for watching. Remember, all brushes lead to war, and bye for now.